I think he'd just like to say, like, if I had the opportunity, I would kill even more people than Attila the Hun.
I mean, that really has to be it when they say that, right? Because he didn't make that up. That's an old right-wing thing. I'm all right to right. And the only thing he was known for was killing people. It's not like, he didn't have like a family values platform.
Joseph Coors gave Paul Weyrich, who is like the sort of one of the like founders of movement conservatism, like way back in like the 1950s when they were total like also ran. He gave him the founding grant for the Heritage Foundation, and again like if there is a piece of legislation out there right now that says I don't know, they could frack your child. Your child's brain for natural gas.
Hey, look, there's valuable fluids in there, okay? We're trying to become energy independent.
We're going to frack, but instead of using chemicals, we're going to pump into the water supply delicious Coors Light.
Basically, like every right wing, like the big joke on Twitter, like who funds the Federalist? I almost guarantee you it's the Coors family if you go deep enough. And we didn't. There's like the Coors family is a big one, but there's actually I'm going to just add him into the Coors family. John Olin as well also went to Cornell, and he's another huge right-wing philanthropist who underwrites the Federalist Society as well as the Heritage Foundation. And like I said, if there's something evil going on in the world, chances are these guys' money have created the infrastructure that allows Ross Douthat to have a New York Times column.
All of these fortunes, the Coors family, the Olins, the Kochs, you might imagine them as stones, perhaps, I don't know, an infinity gem of some kind, which, when collected together on a single gauntlet, would render one to have absolute power.
A library's named after the Olin family.
This is also another one of the things they founded was Paul Weyrich's Free Congress Foundation. And this has been a hobby horse of ours. On the website for the Free Congress Foundation, it asks, will America return to the culture that made it great, our traditional Judeo-Christian Western culture? If not, the United States will become no less than a third world country.
Let's ask Adolf Coors what he thought about that Judeo part of Judeo-Christianity.
And my favorite piece of trivia about the Coors family, I forget which one of them. I mean, they're all the same. In the 1980s, he donated his own personal airplane, which was worth $65,000, to the Nicaraguan Contras. So, I mean...
he just thought of himself as donating to the war effort. Like, he thought he was the second season of Downton Abbey.
Speaking of war crimes, in contravention of the Geneva Accords, they assassinated the Bud Knights.
I'm imagining a Coors ad in the 80s. It's a bunch of Contras sitting in a clearing in a field. One of them pops open a Coors Light, and a medical clinic blows up right behind him.
I mean, I guess, like I said, like everything bad and evil. I guess with that Contra airplane, I mean, at least they brought a lot of cocaine into America. Okay, so that is the Coors, and also with an asterisk, the John Olin, just
the dark money monster.
Hugely, like, just people whose, like, just Croesus-like wealth have just underwritten, like, every awful, evil thing and person. Like, that's the thing. It's not just the institutions. It's the entire infrastructure that elevates utter mediocrities, like, anyone who annoys you that you see either, like, on Twitter or...
It was just revealed that someone, and no one knows who it is because it's all covered up through, like, front companies, someone has paid over $300,000 to promote Ben Shapiro's personal Facebook page.
By the way, we will be introducing a new $300,000 level to our Patreon. Okay, so like the just tied, just this black hole of money, like I said, underwriting every awful, evil thing.
That's some profound evil. I don't know how you can balance that equation.
Well, I'll tell you who. Versus Huey Lewis in the News. Did the News attend Cornell? I'll say yes.
Yeah, the News. Yeah. The Sun.
Huey Lewis absolutely attended Cornell. So,
he majored in harmonica? Which one of the buildings is a harmonica building? I couldn't tell.
Where, you know?
Power of Love? sometimes, or bad is bad.
I want a new drug. They're a song about the Contras.
Just, again, unspeakable, infinite bad vibes. You throw in some Huey Lewis.
I mean, come on. Have you listened to sports recently? It fucking rips. It's nothing but bangers.
Once again, universe restored to its rightful order.
That's all things should be.
Okay. Our next matchup features a real gem here. It's going to be, bring her up, Ann Coulter.
Ooh. I still refuse to believe she didn't go to Dartmouth. Like, did she clone herself and she got degrees at both places? It's just, she's the most Dartmouth person in history. I don't get it.
I still refuse to believe she wasn't hatched fully formed from a bog.
Enough of your anti-Irish comments, Virgil. Ann Coulter is, I think she's an interesting figure, especially now in 2019, because like during the Bush years, right? Like she was the hot property.
She triggered the libs before anybody knew what that was.
She triggered the libs like just like a megaton bomb going off in like the people who read the New York Times. And she called the New York Times shameless and the liberal media, and suggested that liberal journalists wanted Al Qaeda to win the war. That was, I mean, she, like I said, like she was like you could get
She triggered the libs so bad that like Twitter didn't exist and people would just write tweets like on stall doors and stuff, not even knowing what they were doing, just like someday this will make sense. And it's got to be under 280 characters for some reason. I don't know.
But I think it's like interesting. Ann Coulter now is because like it's sort of odd. Like she's where is her niche now?
She's MySpace. Like she just couldn't make it through.
Yeah, no, she's an obsolete operating system.
She's still around, but it's like back then there was one drug. Now there's like 100 synthetic parts if you want to get mad at something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's like Mexican dirt weed from the 70s, and like these people are like Chinese experimental
hydroponics.
drugs.
Yeah.
Like you do a thimbleful of it, and you fucking experience instant ego death.
Yeah, but that was you don't understand. That's all we had back then.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah,
it was
it was
huge.
like some stepped on shit.
Oh, I remember it. Like in the
90% baby.
in the 2000s, just the Move On Howard Dean set. Just lived in fear of this woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and she did, like I said, she did a marvelous job. I remember being furious at her.
Yeah.
Coulter!
You got owned.
I got
But
triggered.
she walked so that Laura Loomer could run.
No, I mean, like she's like living in a world where everyone is just a copycat.
Yeah.
There are all these cloud sharks.
You know what it is? It's that Simpsons episode when everyone just like Bart and he loses his, when he be like the boy and he loses his niche and he's like, I have no reason to live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like she tried to become relevant again because she was like during the Republican primary when there was the big like never Trump push by like the sort of cultured, intelligent conservatives at the National Review and Weekly Standard. She was the one that just like all in, super MAGA, like on board the Trump train. She was like, all the rest of them are conservatives. He's going to build the wall. She wrote a book. Her most recent book was called Adios America, and it was about how Donald Trump is our last chance to stop the browning of America. But now she has now gone like a step further where she's just like, Trump has cucked already.
Yeah.
He's never going to build the wall. He's a fucking idiot. And like she's like attacking Trump from the right.
Yeah. And the thing is, she was expecting people to follow her.
But
and then
nobody
she turned
did.
around and it was just her. Because they still love him, and how could you not? Who are you going to be? This person who's just this person who's just been doing the same like.
Looks like one of those like Saluki dogs.
Yeah, just the same like snarky things for 30 years now. Like meanwhile, you got Trump being like, I'm a baby, I'm a little boy, I've got a pinky. How are you not going to stick with him?
By the way, guys, did you guys see that today where he was talking about Joe Biden getting in the race and he goes, I'm like young. I'm the youngest man there is. I'm young and vibrant.
It was amazing. You sounded like a real
I'm a young,
housewife.
vibrant man.
I'm like one of the most vibrant men alive.
Folks, I'm baby.
Joe Biden, he says he's baby. He's not. He's an old man. He's tired.
Look, Biden, I bet he wears Depends. I wear Huggies. So how are you gonna not pick him? Come on.
Yeah.
She was doomed.
Maybe she's Yang Gang now.
That's the last stage for all of these people who kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll end up on the Yang train.
And Coulter's like, I just want that $1,000 check.
I want those $1,000.
Either it's going to be royalties or it's going to be from Andrew Yang.
I think she basically is neat at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think she has a job of any kind.
That's the thing. Like, sorry, now I won't get who frequently invited her on his TV program because he's another Cornell alum that we're going to get to later. But Ann Coulter, very interesting figure in how just alone in the universe she is right now.
Well, she overplayed her, you know, skeletal hand, and now there's no home for her.
So how are we going to balance out Ann Coulter? Well, let's do it. Jane Lynch. Jane
Another
Lynch.
leggy blonde,
Another
wholesome.
tall blonde,
Yeah.
but is the good version.
The exact opposite vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hearing that name, Jane Lynch, just put all the negative Ann Coulter vibes out of the room.
And very much like a Cornell person, like because Ithaca as a city has a very kind of like confident, reassuring lesbian vibe. It's like plaid everywhere. You just feel like really secure. And like when you see Jane Lynch, you think of a place like this where she could build you a deck and remember your birthday.
Lilith Fair, New York.
Yeah, it's like Portland, but without all the to-do.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, Amber, what was the name of the pornography store that you saw in Ithaca?
Oh,
Adult
outlet. Yeah.
Hey.
By the way, even the porno shop is wholesome here.
On the credit card, it says bookstore and gallery.
Oh.
Ye old marital aid supplies depot. So Jane Lynch, who doesn't love Jane Lynch?
Yeah,
Who doesn't love?
charming. She really is like the anti-Coulter.
Because everybody hates Ann Coulter. Like she used to have fans who loved her because she triggered the lips. Now there's nothing.
Yeah.
She's got nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just everyone else is just a Laura Loomer, just a mini-me. These minions just stealing her clout.
Yep.
Everybody.
Filming themselves getting kicked out of Whole Foods for throwing the hummus on the floor.
Everybody loves Jane Lynch. Everybody hates Ann Coulter. Now, we did Ann Coulter. I alluded to this briefly. This guy is our next contender on the Team Evil. Cue that music! Dun, 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 dun. New rule. If you're gonna go to Ithaca, make sure to get your dildos at the Adult Supply Academy. Unless you're a Republican.
There's someone who's so smug that it turned into a speech impediment. You can't even get around anymore. He's just dripping with contempt. It's like a palsy.
Bill Maher, one of the most annoying shitheads on TV, maybe ever. First, politically incorrect until, honestly, he lost his job at ABC for his one actually politically incorrect take, which is that the 9/11 hijackers were brave to fly those planes into buildings.
More so than firing cruise missiles.